All right, Disney launched its controversial, nearly $500 Skip the Line service. Sometimes double the cost of a single-day park ticket, this pricey add-on has guests in sticker shock.
7 straight days sold out. Lightning Lane Premier Pass at Magic Kingdom, February 12th through 18th, 2026. $449 per person. That's not a weekend spike. That's an entire week. Valentine's Day and President's Day. 0 availability for 7 consecutive days. Do the math. Family of 4 pays $1,796 just for line access, before park tickets, before food, before hotels. And here's who signed off on this pricing strategy. Bob Iger, Disney's chief executive officer. He earned $45.8 million last year. That includes $568,000 in private jet expenses alone. Here's what Iger's not telling you. Even when Premier Pass sells out, it represents less than 1% of daily park guests. Disney's serving 30,000 to 40,000 guests per day during peak season. They're charging the wealthiest 1% nearly $2,000 per family to skip lines. Everyone else waits. Let me show you what actually happened. WDW Magic confirmed the 7-day sellout streak, February 12th through 18th. Magic Kingdom hit the all-time maximum price every single day, $449. But look at the other parks during the same week. Hollywood Studios peaked at $339. Epcot reached $249. Animal Kingdom topped out at $199. Magic Kingdom costs more than double Animal Kingdom for the exact same service. Skip the line access. That's it. And here's where it gets revealing. Today's prices sit at the lowest point for the next 2 weeks. The Magic Kingdom dropped to $379. But Sunday and Monday, back to $449. The pattern is clear. Disney knows exactly when Northeast schools have President's Day week off. They know when families have no choice but to visit during peak season, and they charge accordingly. Then watch what happens after the holiday. Magic Kingdom falls to $379 by Saturday, February 21st. Hollywood Studios drops to $269 by Monday, February 23rd. That's not demand-based pricing. That's surge pricing tied directly to school vacation calendars. Now let me walk you through how this system actually works. Step 1. Disney removes free FastPass. That system operated for 2 decades. Worked fine. Step 2. Replace it with Lightning Lane MultiPass. That requires constant phone management, booking windows, return times, refreshing the app every hour. Step 3. Add Lightning Lane Single Pass for the most popular rides. $15 to $25 per person per ride. Step 4. Introduce Premier Pass. Up to $449 for unlimited access. No booking windows required. Step 5. Limit supply so severely that even at peak prices, it sells out during holidays. Step 6. Create artificial scarcity that makes wealthy guests feel they're getting exclusive access. In plain terms, you're not buying speed. You're buying your way out of problems Disney created. What that means for you, the standby experience degrades systematically to justify the premium product. The real cost is this. Every Premier Pass user takes Lightning Lane slots away from standby guests. Your 3-hour wait exists partly because Disney's selling skip-the-line access to the top 1%. What Iger's team calls guest experience optimization actually means income-based line access. Here's the part they don't advertise. Premier Pass doesn't add ride capacity. It reallocates existing Lightning Lane spots. The hidden catch. You're paying nearly $2,000 to avoid waiting with people who can't afford to pay. Imagine you're a parent planning President's Day week at Disney. You saved all year, $3,000 total budget. You check Premier Pass pricing, $449 per person at Magic Kingdom. Your family of 4 needs $1,796. That's over half your entire budget, for one park, for one day, just to skip lines. Meanwhile, Iger earned $45.8 million in fiscal 2025. Personal security added $1.85 million. Private jets cost $568,000. Your entire Disney vacation budget equals 12 days of Iger's private jet service. His total compensation is 805 times the median Disney cast member salary of $56,932 per year. Let me repeat that number, 805 times. Picture this scenario. You decide to skip Premier Pass. You'll use MultiPass instead. Save that $1,796. But it's President's Day week. You're competing with 30,000 other guests for the same Lightning Lane slots. MultiPass requires advanced booking. You monitor availability constantly. You refresh the app every few minutes. You spend 3 hours of your vacation staring at your phone instead of enjoying the park with your kids. 3 hours of screen time to manage a system that used to be free and automatic. The gap nobody talks about. Neither option returns you to the experience that existed 5 years ago. Disney built the problem, then sold 2 different solutions at 2 different price points. One for the wealthy, one for everyone else, and neither one is free anymore. Disney's official position on the sellout. This proves guests value convenience above cost. The WDW Magic article states it directly. Peak pricing fails to deter demand. But that framing hides the real story. What they're really saying is, we found the 1% willing to pay anything during peak weeks. We're maximizing revenue from them. We stopped caring about everyone else. Here's what that actually does. It creates 2 classes of park guests with visibly different experiences. Wealthy families walk onto Seven Dwarfs Mine Train while your kids watch them cut past the 3-hour standby line. Iger hasn't personally commented on the President's Day sellout, but his March 2025 shareholder meeting statements apply here. He said demand remains strong. Satisfaction scores stay high. Expansions continue. What Disney's not addressing, selling out 100 passes per day doesn't prove broad affordability. It proves narrow willingness among the wealthy to pay premium prices. Consumer pushback exists, but it's fragmented. Some families stop visiting Disney entirely. Others visit Universal Orlando, where Express Pass pricing is more transparent and slightly lower. Disney continues releasing aggressive discount packages for off-peak periods. September 2025 saw $89 3-park tickets and 50% off kids' tickets. Those discounts signal real concern about filling the calendar outside holiday weeks. But peak pricing strategy shows no signs of changing. What happens next matters. Watch Premier Pass availability during spring break and summer 2026. If sellouts continue at $449, Disney will interpret that as pricing validation. If availability opens up even slightly during peak weeks, that's the first signal wealthy guests hit their limit. Iger steps down. March 18th. Josh D'Amaro takes over as Chief Executive Officer. Here's what makes that transition critical. D'Amaro ran Disney Parks as chairman of Disney Experiences. He created this exact pricing model. He built the 3-tier Lightning Lane system. He introduced Premier Pass at these price points. Will he continue his own strategy or adjust for accessibility complaints? Early signals suggest continuation. D'Amaro hasn't indicated any philosophical shift on pricing during his entire tenure running the parks division. He defended this model publicly. He oversaw its expansion. The data suggests Disney hasn't found the price ceiling yet during peak periods. 7 straight days at $449 with 0 availability proves wealthy guests will pay almost anything during school vacation weeks. But they're building a park system where only the top 1% can afford the premium experience. The remaining 99% either wait 3 hours in standby or don't come at all. Here's what Wall Street noticed. Disney stock performance reflects concerns about this strategy long term. Maximizing revenue from the wealthy works during peak weeks. But off-peak discounts reveal the underlying problem. The middle class is getting priced out. Disney's not serving 40,000 guests per day at Magic Kingdom during President's Day week because demand is strong. They're serving 40,000 because that's capacity. But only 100 of those guests can afford Premier Pass. The other 39,900 wait. Or pay for multi-pass and spend half their day on their phones. Or skip Disney entirely and visit Universal instead. $449 per person. 7 consecutive days sold out. $1,796 for a family of 4. That's not strong demand. That's finding the 1% willing to pay while everyone else watches from standby lines. Iger leaves Disney in 46 days, his final act as chief executive officer, doubling down on premium pricing that extracts maximum revenue from the wealthy while degrading the experience for everyone else. DeMauro takes over March 18th. He built this system. He'll inherit its consequences, and those consequences are becoming clear. Two-class parks, two-tier access, two different Disneys, one for families who can afford $1,796 to skip lines during Valentine's Day week, one for families who wait 3 hours in standby while watching wealthier guests walk past them. The magic isn't disappearing, it's just being sold to the highest bidder.